Let me now talk to you about the 4 delivery techniques that I think are very easy to learn, that most of you can learn very quickly, and that will dramatically make you better presenters on webinars, and also just better presenters overall. You'll be better speakers and communicators. So here they are. So the first one is pausing. Pausing. Isn't it interesting how a pause can completely change the message? Pausing until you get comfortable with it is extremely uncomfortable. So one of the ways that I got good at pausing was when I would go out on stage in front of an audience, and I do this now every single time with rare exception. So I spoke earlier this year at an event with 1,000 people at it, and I walk out on stage and I just stand there and I look at the audience and I don't say a damn word for like 30 seconds to a minute. And I wait till it gets uncomfortable in the audience usually until I hear nervous laughter. Then I let it go just a little bit longer, boom, and then I hit. Then I go in. In that uncomfortable pause, I've gotten very comfortable with that because it takes nerves of steel to look 1,000 people in the eye and basically say, you're on my time. You're going to wait for me. But what does that communicate? It communicates absolute confidence and authority, even though it's just a pause. It's incredible. Now, when you read words on a piece of paper, in a book, article, what have you, there are no pauses. And so what you get are these very tight sentences, very short sentences with the subject or the active part of the sentence at the beginning. But when you speak, it's almost the opposite. You will speak in phrases that are really actually run-on sentences. But because you can control the delivery of those sentences and when and how somebody can hear them, you can use pauses even in very long, very run-on sentences, yet they feel short and punctuated and powerful and captivating. Okay? Now, if you were to read a transcript of what I just said, it would be one big long sentence and it would not read well at all. It would sound horrible in your mind when you were reading it. But because I have full control over the timing of when you hear that message, how you hear that message, what I emphasize, and when I pause, that's a great way to take a long sentence and break it up into several smaller chunks. Okay? So the pause is very, very, very effective. It conveys confidence, as we said. It also is a pattern interrupt. If you listen to most presenters, they will speak at the same cadence for the whole presentation because they get in presenter mode and they think, as a presenter, I got to present a certain way. And because I'm in presenter mode, this is the only way that I'm ever going to present. I'm not going to, any variance is going to be impossible for me to do. And therefore, this is what I'm going to do because I'm an authority and I have to talk like this. No. The pause is great because once they get used to a certain type of delivery, a pause is like a smack upside the head. Keeps you awake. Keeps you focused. You're not sure what's going to come next. So the pause is not natural. The pause is not natural at all. And if you actually look at my transcripts, if I'm doing a presentation and you read along with the transcripts while you're listening to me, you will notice all the pauses. I have hundreds and hundreds of pauses, even though I talk fast. I have hundreds and hundreds of pauses in my delivery because I know the tension that creates. I know that it allows my points to sink in before moving on. And I also know that the contrast of linking things together and continually just building on something and building on something, the pause is the bridge that can link those things together. It's very effective. It's very powerful. Now, it's not natural, so here's how you use the pause at first. What you do is in your presentation, you find the 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 key points that you think have the most impact and the most pow on your presentation when you deliver it. And then you do something on those slides to note that this is where you're going to pause. So one of the easiest things is to change the background color. So any slide where you're going to pause, change the background color to red. And that will tell you when you get to that slide is that you're going to take a long pause either before you deliver the slide or after you deliver the slide. So you just color code it to know pause before the slide or pause after the slide, or however you wish to do it. But what you do is consciously create markers to remind yourself to start pausing in strategic locations. Now, what will happen over time is you will become more familiar and comfortable with pausing, and you will see the power and effect of it. And then you naturally will just start going more towards it. I literally don't think at all consciously about pausing anymore. I guess now I'm doing it because I'm thinking about it out loud, so I'm not doing it as good as I normally do. But you eventually just learn this is a tool in my toolkit that I can use to create tension, use to create drama, use to create to keep you captive. Use it to help me color the content in a way that makes it more interesting, more exciting, and more persuasive. And that's pausing. And so pausing is more important than really, I mean, if you're reading word for word and you're not pausing, that sucks. But if you can read word for word and know strategically when to put pauses in there as you're delivering it, you can take a boring script and make it sound interesting. So that's the pause, okay?